Welcome back everyone to Classic Homesteading Practices. It is so nice to be showing you my backyard with my first garden tour. Well, really, my first tour of my backyard, because it's crazy to say this, but this wasn't green last year. My entire backyard was nothing but dirt and mulch, and I'm so excited to share this entire thing with you, including this poor little okra that needs to be held back up. This little guy is one of the last seedlings that I put out. My transplants are all outside and I'm so excited to just let them grow and get big, because that means that I can have my okra fried and ready to go. Also, in this little bitty thing, this is actually a green stalk that I've taken some off of. I transplanted a chocolate mint from last year's mint pile down here, and it was very tiny when I first got it in here. It's about 6 to 7 times the size of when I first put it in that cup, and I am so excited to see if it gets any bigger. God, look at all of this clover. This is white clover. It completely took over our old herb bed. There's giant parsley that is growing out and up to about 4 feet. If you look closely, you can see that it is, in fact, blooming. It's insane. And there are going to be little yellow flowers soon perking out of there. Let's see if I can also share any more of these hidden treasures. I think I see the thyme in there. Yeah, there it is. Let's just get this out of the way. Now, again, this thyme has been growing for a year. It's very misleading because all of the clovers around it, but it's actually about 10 inches in diameter. And then there's this curly parsley, which is about 8 inches in diameter. And I actually need to cut this back because it's starting to yellow from age. There's the catnip, and right behind it is also some oregano, which is really fun. Now, let me show you the big guy in the garden. Look at all of that chamomile. It's huge. It's its own little bouquet batch. And I cannot keep up with all the flowers that are coming off of this. It's even gotten into our asparagus patch, which thankfully they're so huge as they've unfurled their spears. As you can see, they're so tall that they can still get sun and be very fine by themselves. We also were able to put some wheatgrass in, so if you see any little spears poking up, that's also wheatgrass. But just look at it. I have about 2 more years before I can actually pick my bundles of asparagus. For now, I can actually get a couple spears next year to eat off of. They were really tiny this year, but they definitely blew up in size after a little while. It's a lot of fun watching these things just grow, including even these flax that are now yellowing because they've blossomed, and all those little round seed pods are going to be bursting soon. I did flax from the store. It's literally a 2-pound bag that costed me $3, and it's given me all of this, which is hidden even this cabbage over here, which this cabbage has been in the garden for about, 4 months now, and it's really starting to grow. It's been so much fun to watch this guy just get bigger, especially because of this beautiful blue hue that it has on it. I want to think that it's a Russian blue that I put in here. Gosh, it's actually gotten twice the size in the last month, if you can believe it. Now past it is my volunteer garden right now. Mainly because I haven't sown anything in this patch. That is a volunteer zucchini. And unfortunately there's been a little bit of a pest stress, as you can see all these little holes in the leaves, but there's new growth in there. I can see little tiny leaves. And it's still going strong. You can even see tiny little flowers. I'm so excited for that thing to get bigger. Which means zucchini bread in like a month. Right next to it are these two sunflowers. I do not know what kinds they're going to be. They're either going to be beautiful yellow or they're going to be red. And it's right next to a drip line, surrounded by all these different native flowers that we sowed in. I think a good chunk of them are poppies, and the other ones I'm not certain about. But they're crowding my volunteer pumpkin plants, which you can see. One is in the left-hand corner. And then we have the other two, which the one in the back is the biggest one, and then you have those two smaller ones side by side, both next to the Vigoro little planter pots, which actually used to be the home and is still the home to a giant mint plant. And this thing is a year old, and the smell of it is still as good as it was last year. Very powerful. It's right next to my rose, which last year was in a giant pot. I wanted it to get bigger, so I finally took it out of it, and it was the best decision for this thing. I cut it back in winter here, and it went into full dormancy. It's come back even better than before. All these beautiful shoots are just getting ready to let off its pink and yellow blooms, which means that I get to have beautiful roses, and soon enough even delicious rose water for lemonade tea that I absolutely love. Like, it is the best damn shit ever. Just saying. And then we have calendula right next to it. Those little yellow flowers, which I've heard calendula can be steeped, and then the oils can be used for skincare. I have not tried it, but with all these blooms, I might just do it. That was a volunteer. My husband did calendula, actually. That went from one plant to about 3 in no time flat. They grow very vigorously. Unlike this poor blueberry, which has had a very hard time ever since I transplanted it, but we're just going to keep it going and hope that it will get better. Right next to it is my first really good melon set. That one is a chrysanthemum melon, and I transplanted it into the ground a couple days ago, and it's doing very well. While this Kajari melon was actually in the ground for the last 2 weeks, and it's steadily growing and giving me little yellow blossoms that I make sure to pick off because I just want it to bush out right now. I don't want any of that energy going into making blossoms if I can help it. But it looks pretty good right now. This is my sugar baby watermelon plant. It's been in the ground for another 2 weeks, and it's finally, with this heat we're getting new shoots. And I'm just really hoping that it keeps on going. I'm really excited for that. And right next to it is also a very sad looking Hass tomato. That is because it used to live over here with the other 2 tomatoes. It snapped, probably from the wind. That's where its stalk was. And then I transplanted it because I'm stubborn and I want it to grow. And I will say the positive side is these 2 have more room to grow into. So I'm just trying to look on a positive side. These two look beautiful. They're going to be even bigger as the summer just keeps going. They're already pretty humongous. I'm probably going to need to put stakes or something with them soon, because just look at them. They're over a foot tall. I've already had to pinch off some blossoms just to let it keep going. And you can still see a little one that's there that I need to take off. I just don't have the heart to do it sometimes. And then right next to it is our gooseberry bush, which has grown very well as well. I want to say that it's also gotten about 5 inches on it. Oh, okay. Very quickly, let's talk about this little plant. This little red, purple, beautiful thing. So for anybody who doesn't know about ube, let me get this a little bit clearer. There we go. Ube is a sweet potato that's purple. It's very good, usually made from Filipino food. Its ice cream and baked goods are amazing. I'm excited for this to get bigger. Excited. Alright, let's go talk about trees. This beautiful peach tree is getting so much fruit on it. Though the problem is these peaches aren't going to get any bigger. I'll talk to you about that in a later video. Now, this guy is a big fat dill. I cannot believe how humongous this is getting. Oh, and of course then there's the the kumquat tree right next to it. This guy is very exciting for me. It's got new growth coming in, which I hopefully am taking to have flowers soon, so I can have kumquats this summer. That is the ultimate goal. I just got this a month ago, and it's been doing great. Also, if anybody knows what this is, please sound off in the comment section below. I think it's a type of flower. I don't know. And then lastly is this beautiful little baby. This is my fig tree. And I'm excited for this to get even bigger. Thanks for coming along with me, guys. Have a wonderful day.